Support for this podcast comes from CLR Clear. For the annoying mess you're facing down in your home, you can fight the clean fight with CLR Clear. Battle against calcium buildup. Go toe-to-toe with toilet scum. Duke it out with disposal rot. The entire line of powerful formulas works hard to vanquish dirt, grime, and deposits all around your home. So KO the crud. Fight the clean fight with CLR Clear. Visit CLRbrands.com to learn more.
Okay, so you gotta check out HomeSense.
I've heard the deals are pretty amazing.
HomeSense has incredible prices on nice brand name stuff. Furniture, rugs, lights, decor, it's endless.
So for every room.
Exactly. It's different every time you go. Kind of like a treasure hunt. You never know what you'll find. Like a reclaimed wood table.
Okay, you're right. I definitely have to check out HomeSense.
Told ya. You can take a virtual tour online and get directions to the store at homesense.com.
Thanks for listening to the Best of the Ben Maller Show podcast. Be sure to catch us live every weeknight from 2 to 6 Eastern, 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. And to find your local station for the Ben Maller Show at foxsportsradio.com, you can find it there, or stream us live every night on the iHeartRadio app by searching FSR.
This is the Best of the Ben Maller Show on Fox Sports Radio.
A Johnny on the spot mixed with a social media kerfluffle. Welcome in the beginning of another edition of the Ben Maller Show. We are in the air everywhere as we philosophize coast to coast, border to border, and beyond on the vast and powerful microphones of FSR, emanating live from inside the theater of the mind, the Fox Sports Radio studios. Good to have you along with us here, and a couple of reactions to the Final Four, which is now being said, and you can hear the angst, the crying from the media moguls on the East Coast, because the Final Four is all west of the Mississippi. As the West Coast represented, you were guaranteed of having a West Coast team in the Final Four from the first game as Gonzaga and USC. Not much of a game. It was Timmy time for the Zags. That was a rat kill, so not much to discuss there. And UCLA, those gutty little Bruins, flexing their muscles. They get a 2-point win. And watching this particular game at Lucas Oil Stadium there in Indianapolis, the final part of this game was a reminder of a philosophy that I have had for my entire time on the radio. There's some things that are just truisms that we believe in, and occasionally we are reminded that they are accurate. These are not things that we should avoid. These are things that we should embrace. One of the statements that we have made is that most games are lost, they're not won. Now, some people are furious over this. They feel like that's a terrible way to look at sports. But we were validated. If you watch the final minutes of Michigan and UCLA, the Wolverines had not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. They had 8 opportunities. Their last 8 field goal attempts, clank, brick, clank. Any reasonable person would tell you if you miss your last 8 field goal attempts in a close game and you're the favored team, it doesn't matter if you're the favorite team or not, but if it's a close game and you miss your last 8 field goal attempts, you're not going to win the game. And sure enough, the Wolverines go down and say goodbye to the Big Ten. So UCLA advancing to the Final Four, and they get the booby prize as they will take on the Zags in the Final Four this coming weekend. And Johnny, it's Johnny on the spot. Johnny Juzang, who's not projected to be an NBA player. If you look at your mock drafts, the NBA draft a few months away, and this player, he's a 6'6" sophomore, not projected to even be a second-round pick in the NBA, but he's a good college player. And lighting it up. He's been one of the stars of the NCAA tournament, averaging 22.3 points for the Bruins in the tournament. And he had a big first half and not much in the second half, but enough. And so UCLA goes on to the Final Four. And the point spreads are out for the Final Four. If you want to see where Vegas thinks these games are going to go, the gambling market, the Final Four games on April 3rd this weekend. You've got the first game, which will be at, I think 2:14 Pacific, 5:14 in the East. You've got Baylor and Houston. And Baylor opened up a 4.5-point favorite. They're a 5-point favorite. So Baylor favored by 5 over the Cougars. The Cougars are coming. Then the other half of the Final Four, the late game, the West Coast matchup. UCLA and Gonzaga. And the Zags, the Bulldogs, opened up a 13-point favorite. That has already been bumped up to 14 points in favor of the undefeated juggernaut of collegiate basketball. It's Timmy time. All right, meanwhile, our lead that we want to get to away from the college basketball is the Department of Trash Talk, specifically the war of words between a washed-up actor and a fragile NBA star. This is a made-for-sports talk radio conversation. Just add some water. Michael Rappaport versus Kevin Durant.
Who?
Did you see this? You did not see this? Maybe you missed it? Well, let me give you the condensed recap. I'll get you caught up to speed. Maybe you're not a social media person. So it was a heated back and forth between KD and Rappaport, exploding into the public square. It happened in the afternoon on Tuesday. The actor posting several screenshots of direct messages in which the Brooklyn Nets forward used homophobic, misogynistic, and generally profane language. Among the highlights, the actor Rappaport wrote on social media, "I receive threats and disgusting messages daily, but never in my wildest dreams did I think that KD would be among them," he wrote. Then he used the snake emoji. The snake himself is now threatening me, bringing up my wife, and wants to fight. This is supposed to be America's sweetheart, right? ? And he pumps himself up by saying, "I'm the real MVP." Now, originally, Kevin Durant defenders immediately said, fake. You know, we call this the Chris in Houston defense. Remember when the Astros were cheating and they got caught and Chris in Houston said, no, it's all Photoshopped. So the Durant apologists, the fanboys were like, no, this is all Photoshopped. Durant would never do that. No. This is just a guy trying to get attention, and it's not true. Unfortunately for these people, the defense went out the window when Durant confirmed the authenticity of the direct messages in a separate tweet. Durant said, me and Mike talk crazier than this on the regular, and today he's pissed. My bad, Mike, damn, Durant said. And then he also made a rather meek attempt to use some damage control on Instagram, writing, "My bad, I apologize," close quote. All right, so let us discuss the question, who looks worse here? The actor Michael Rappaport or Kevin Durant? Now, the answer, all of the above. They both look like stooges. So I've got the Golden Rule, Game of Thrones, and pill bottles. And we will tie all of these things together. And we'll start with A. Michael Rappaport looks like the bigger weasel in this at first glance because it's kind of obvious here. In the pantheon of social media, you should not ever violate the bubble of trust. For some odd reason, Kevin Durant allowed this hack to commandeer a spot in his immediate circle. It's a bad job by Durant. You got to look in the mirror and do some soul searching on that. Rappaport embraced his status, apparently for many, many months, going back and forth, talking trash, having a good old time. They were going back and forth at it and throwing haymakers, verbal haymakers. Doing what men do, right? We're all tough guys. Many of us fake tough guys, but we're all tough guys. Equal parts machismo and testosterone. And here's the thing, though. Rappaport, the older guy, violated the golden rule of social media hoedowns. He's a 51-year-old dude. For him to become the tattletale in this equation is something that you would not expect. You would expect it from the younger person, the millennial. This makes all middle-aged guys look bad. It's poor decorum. Poor decorum. And if you're going to get into a cyber sparring match with someone, you keep it out of the public theater. All right? That's just the rule. Otherwise, you're a scoundrel. Now, part B of this, for Kevin Durant, this particular rant, the screenshots that I watched, were on brand. KD is the epitome of the thin-skinned, rabbit-eared ice cream vendor driving the Mr. Softy truck. Now, this rhubarb started apparently because Michael Rappaport criticized Kevin Durant's post-game interview with Charles Barkley after the opening game of the season for Brooklyn. They played the Golden State Warriors back in December. And we're almost into April now. So this has been going on since the NBA season started in December, and here we are in April almost. Rappaport tweeted at the time, KD seemed deeply in his feelings with the TNT crew after the game. Damn it. He's super sensitive about everything. Don't do the interview. The actor, fledgling actor at this point, said. Well, on cue, Durant then showed his salamander skin. He began frothing at the mouth and responded by calling Rappaport. Now, I'm going to use a radio edit on this because, again, there's a lot of kids that stay up all night, and we're a family show here. Family show. So Durant, some of the highlights here, he called the actor a slang term for a female dog. Starts with a B. Called him a flower, a pussy willow flower, a pale, pasty, let me edit this word here, tartar sauce guzzling, and then female dog. Called him a piece of doo-doo. Yeah. Before a series of insults targeting then Rappaport's wife. Now, KD, listen, he's a schmendrick in this situation also. Why? As we learned back in Game of Thrones, a lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of sheep. You're a former MVP, you're a headliner in the NBA, and you're talking X-rated smack with a D-list actor. What are you doing? Right? I mean, Durant, listen, here's the deal. All right, stick to fighting teenagers on burner accounts. And he did this from his own account. What a loggerhead. All right, last word here. If you look at the tail of the tape in a hypothetical matchup, KD wins the pound-for-pound tail of the tape because Durant's 6'9", listed at like 240. He's got an almost 20-year age advantage. He's the younger guy. Rappaport listed at 6'4". He weighs 176 pounds. At least that's what the internet says. Looks fatter to me than that. So we're talking about at least 5 inches in height and 60-plus pounds for Durant, plus a tremendous reach. You look at the length of Durant's arms versus Rappaport. Now, regardless, you look at the intangibles. Never underestimate. These guys were to fight, have a street fight in Brooklyn, which, of course, we know is not going to happen. But if it did, boy, that would be a great story. Can you imagine? Michael Rappaport and Kevin Durant were arrested for fighting on 17th Street. Anyway, if you look at the fight, never underestimate old man strength. All right, old man strength. Old and smart beats young and fast every time. We've said that for years. Now, meanwhile, the question, which is really the question that matters at this particular point in this dust-up between the actor and the NBA player, will Kevin Durant be punished by the powers that be in the National Basketball Association? Now, this is obviously a blow to the NBA's Pollyanna approach to fixing all of society's problems by watching basketball players preach to you about what's right and what's wrong. Even though this was a private conversation that Kevin Durant never intended to go public, we imagine, he did hit the holy trinity of taboo subjects. He used homophobic, misogynistic, and profane rhetoric. All no-nos for the NBA. So the prediction here is that Durant will get punished, but it'll be a slap on the wrist. He might not be able to play video games for a couple of days when the Nets are on the road. Maybe some extra veggies in the locker room he might have to eat. Really harsh punishment. Really harsh punishment. Someone, though, I'm not sure who, needs, if you're advising Kevin Durant, you need him to change pill bottles. All right? Because we've all learned over the years, you take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed, you believe whatever you want to believe. You take that red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and we'll see how deep the rabbit hole goes. Now, Durant loves those red pills. He really does. He's all about that action, boss. But if you're with the Nets or the NBA, you'd be like, well, try some of the blue pills. See what happens if the story ends, right? Believe whatever you want to believe. Now, as a professional gas bag looking for content, we hope that Durant never takes the blue pill, continues to take the red pill. He fills the content kitty on a regular basis, right? We pass the collection plate out, and Durant fills it up with redonkulous stuff. And for that, we're grateful.
Be sure to catch live editions of the Ben Maller Show weekdays at 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio and the iHeartRadio app.
What's up, everyone? It's me, three-time NFL All-Pro Sean Merriman, and I have a new sports podcast called the Lights Out Podcast with Sean Merriman. This podcast is special to me as I get a chance to talk to some of the best who've ever done it on the field or the track. So whether it's talking to a Super Bowl champion or a NASCAR Cup Series champion, the Lights Out Podcast will bring it to you the only way I know how to. I'm giving you the best insight from the best who's ever done it. Listen to Lights Out with Sean Merriman on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
It's crazy how much we have to pay for outdated, impersonal healthcare, and even crazier that we all just accept it. It's time to face facts. Healthcare is backwards. Luckily, there's Forward, a new approach to primary care that's surprisingly personal and refreshingly straightforward. Forward never makes you feel like just another patient. Backed by top-rated doctors and the latest tech, Forward gives you access to personalized care whenever you need it. Using in-depth genetic analysis and real-time blood work, Forward's top-rated doctors provide you with in-depth insights to better understand your genetics, mental, and physical health. They then create custom, easy-to-understand plans to help guide you to achieving long-term health. With Forward, you get unlimited in-person visits with your doctor and access to care anytime via the Forward app, all for one flat monthly fee. It's time to stop accepting backwards healthcare and start moving your health forward. Visit GoForward.com today to learn more. That's GoForward.com.
Okay, so I just gotta tell you about shopping at HomeSense.
Oh, yeah. I need to check that out. Is it good?
It's better than good. Trust me, it's a whole new way to shop. Maybe even life-changing.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah. See, HomeSense is part of the HomeGoods family, so you know going in that everything will be less than you expect to pay.
I love that.
And here's the best part. HomeSense is never the same store twice. They put out new items all week long, so there's always something new. Every visit's kind of like a treasure hunt. The other day, I found a zebra print accent chair.
Ooh, I could use a new chair.
HomeSense has stuff to plus up every room in your house. There's so much to choose from. Furniture, rugs, lights, all the decor. So many throw pillows, wall art, and bowls.
Okay, you got me. I've got to check out HomeSense.
You can take a virtual tour online and get directions to the store at homesense.com. Oh, and when you go?
Yeah?
Take me with you?
Deal.
Think of it as a large helping of mac and cheese, a lot of cheese. Welcome in the beginning of another hour. It's the Ben Maller Show. We are in the air together as we rant and rave coast to coast, border to border, and beyond on the vast and powerful microphones of FSR, emanating live from inside the factory of marginal sports takes, the Fox Sports Radio studios. Hope all is well with you. The Final Four is now set. So are you going to change your schedule this weekend to watch the Final Four on Saturday at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis? It'll be Houston and Baylor. The Texas two-step in the first game, and Baylor a 5-point favorite. That was decided on Monday, and the two teams that won on Tuesday night, UCLA, the 11 seed, the low seed that's left, and they'll take on the Zags of Gonzaga there, and that is a big line, a 14-point spread in favor of the undefeated number one Bulldogs in that particular second game, the nightcap. First time ever, the Final Four does not include anyone east of the Mississippi. No one in the Eastern time zone is going to be in the Final Four. Everyone west of the Mississippi. So our lead, though, does not come from that. It comes from the draft season, the NFL draft, less than a month away. And it is the Gala late April event. At least if you work in sports talk radio, it's the gift that keeps giving here. And these workouts, we get to parse them on a seemingly daily basis. Now, the latest ones that happened, specifically the pro days of Justin Fields and Mac Jones. This is mostly about Mac Jones, but amateur draft gurus. I don't know if you consider yourself one of these people. I don't consider myself one of those people. But amateur draft gurus watching with bated breath in Columbus, Ohio, and Tuscaloosa, Alabama, as the quarterback workouts commenced. Urban Meyer, he visited his old stomping grounds at The Ohio State University to dot the I and watch Justin Fields. Does that mean that the Jags are going to trade down and pass on Trevor Lawrence? No. Justin, by the way, ran a 40-yard dash unofficially of 4.44 seconds. It's great. Sign him up for the track team. Now, Bill Belichick and Kyle Shanahan led the dignitaries that were observing and mingling with Nick Saban at Alabama to check out Jones, as in Mac Jones. Immediately after the workouts, the smoke started billowing out from the pro day, specifically about the 49ers in particular. The Niners made the big trade last week to get the number 3 pick. Did you see the story here? Maybe not. So here's the skinny on this. We have learned from multiple NFL sources, the 49ers have zeroed in on taking Alabama quarterback Mac Jones with the number 3 overall pick. If you believe the scuttlebutt, that is bouncing around from multiple supposedly connected people in the NFL. Let us discuss the question. You going to buy or sell the 49ers drafting Mac Jones at number 3? Not only am I going to sell this, I'm rolling my eyes. I am rolling my eyes at if that is the decision. Now, my observations here. You've got guzzied up, barf bag, and board certified. And we will lock all of these things together. Number one. Now, I do buy the fact that the 49ers like the idea of Mac Jones at number 3. At the same time, they are going to pull a muscle if they make that selection because it just screams at you, reach. You're reaching. You're going to pull a muscle. What are you doing? It has that written all over it. Mac Jones was tagged as a 2nd or 3rd round pick mid-season for Alabama. His skill set is not the traditional top 5 quarterback selected unless we go back to the 1970s or 80s, but not in 2021. It's a throwback selection. You generally draft players at the top based on the measurables, as the draftniks like to say. Players who are chiseled out of stone, have the strong physique. Imagine, if you will, a parade of Greek gods. Those are the people that are picked at the very top of the draft. That is not Mac Jones. He is a gussied up version of A.J. McCarron. Jones is 6'3", 215 pounds, soaking wet, just after he's had several cheeseburgers. Doesn't appear to be very athletic and does not possess a cannon for an arm. You want the bazooka? Give me the bazooka. He doesn't have it. He is a no-frills pick. Standard issue, right? Now, secondly, there are several prominent pundits who are googly-eyed in excitement here watching these highlights of Mac Jones that are going around social media. They seem convinced that he's underrated. overshadowed by that amazing talent around him at that SEC juggernaut in Bama. Now, I'm on the other side here. I'm on the other side of that. I am the skeptic. I am the cynical one. I believe the jury is still out on that. We often look for comps before a draft, and that becomes problematic if you're the 49ers looking for comps of Mac Jones, because if you look at the track record from Alabama quarterbacks under Nick Saban who have gone on to the NFL and have been drafted under Saban, if you look at that list of quarterbacks and how they've done in the NFL, you want to get a barf bag bad. It's that bad, right? A.J. McCarron, the aforementioned McCarron, Greg McElroy, who was like a 7th-round pick, Tua Tagovailoa, and if you want to include Jalen Hurts, you can. He did play for Nick Saban, although he finished up his college career in Norman, Oklahoma with Boomer Sooner. But for the purposes of making a point, we will include Jalen Hurts into the conversation. So that foursome of A.J. McCarron, Greg McElroy, Tua Tagovailoa, and Jalen Hurts, Nick Saban-era quarterbacks at Alabama. In the NFL, they've played 18 games as starters collectively, 9-9, 24 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. The Alabama quarterbacks in the NFL have a yards per pass attempt of 6.6. 7 is average. They're below average. And a quarterback rating collectively of 83. All of these players were surrounded by blue-chip talent when they played collegiate football in Tuscaloosa. So you're looking for the comps, and physically, A.J. McCarron, as we said, and Mac Jones, very similar build and all that. Now, he's the type of player, Mac Jones, that screams game manager, which is a derogatory term. Derogatory term. Certainly, you don't want to draft a game manager with the 3rd pick in the draft, would you? Of course you wouldn't. You wouldn't even think of that, but the Niners apparently are thinking of that. All right, final point. So time obviously will tell, the test of time, but I have a sneaking suspicion that while some are saying that Mac Jones, it's if you look at what he has done here because of the talent, they're making the argument that he's underrated. I'm going the other way. I'm going overrated. Overrated. And I believe what's going on here is Mac Jones is benefiting from deceptive marketing. All right? This is a guy who, if drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round, you would say you have a diamond in the rough, value pick. But to draft a player like that in the top 5 is insanity. It just is. And Mac Jones was able to ride the coattails of those elite playmakers for the Crimson Tide. And Nick Saban is a board-certified cosmetic surgeon for quarterbacks. He is. And certainly he's been that way at Alabama, right? These quarterbacks come in there, and if they need rhinoplasty, boom, done. Tummy tuck, liposuction, eyelid surgery, boob job, whatever they need. Nick Saban, he's a cosmetic surgeon. And they look great. They look marvelous, right? And then in the NFL, not so much. Right? So Mac Jones, what I'm trying to say here is Mac Jones' weaknesses were actually hidden due to Alabama's loaded roster, and it's not going to be the same with the 49ers if he does end up in that location. Again, though, you're looking at a guy that was projected as a 2nd or 3rd or 4th round pick mid-college football season, and then everyone's smitten with the performance, and Alabama, a dominant team and all that, and so he moves all the way up to the top 5, if we are to believe this. Now, there's some that saying, well, it's not true, don't be a sucker, it's a smokescreen. I got to tell you, my experience in the last 5 to 10 years, we don't see a lot of smokescreens. We really don't. Like, people love to say that's a smokescreen. It's not going to really happen. Oftentimes, what we think is, could be a smokescreen is actually not a smokescreen. More times than not, it's not deceptive around the draft. That they do telegraph often teams what they plan on doing.
Be sure to catch live editions of the Ben Maller Show weekdays at 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Support for this podcast comes from CLR Clear. If stubborn shower mold has you miffed, or you're hard-pressed to get rid of hard water buildup, it's high time you kick your so-so cleaning products to the curb. It's time to fight the clean fight with the CLR Clear family of products. CLR Clear knows there's all kinds of dirty, which is why they offer products to help you take on messes all around your home. So go on and fight off that countertop crud. Square up with those carpet stains. Go crazy on your garbage disposal gunk. CLR Clear has formulas to help you get the dirty deeds done. Plus, many of their products meet the EPA's Safer Product Standard. So while tough on messes, it's still the safer choice for your family and the environment. Show dirt and grime around your home who's boss with CLR Clear and fight the clean fight. Learn more about the entire product lineup by going to clrbrands.com.
Life is full of questions. Like, why does round pizza come in a square box? Should I eat more kale? And how much is my car worth? Well, CarMax can't help with the pizza or the kale, but we can show you what your car's worth with an instant offer at CarMax.com. And it's good for 7 days, leaving you plenty of time to ponder the great mysteries of life. Like, how can something taste awfully good? CarMax. Real offers. Real fast.
Hi everyone, this is Tamara Pridgett
and Adrienne Herbert, and we're the hosts of Sweat the Details, a brand new podcast from Under Armour and iHeartRadio.
It's a show for women, by women, aimed to spotlight leading voices in today's fitness industry.
The bigger the relationship, the more fun you have with your team. At South Carolina and at Dallas Wings, it wasn't so much of my teammates, it was more of my sisters. It was a sisterhood. That was our circle, and nothing could break our circle or our bond.
We're ready to shake up what it means to be a woman in sport today, with conversations fueled by the latest scientific research about personal fitness.
Listen to Sweat the Details on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's Maller.
How about that?
To the third degree. This is when Big Ben gets grilled.
All right, keep trying, Ryan, quickly.
Jameis Winston made an appearance on a podcast this weekend when he admitted in the past he never wanted to be deemed a game manager, but he has since changed his views on that title and hinted that he may implement some of those traits into his game. Ben, do you think Winston's change in attitude will lead to better play?
Well, the proof is obviously in the pudding. I'll believe it when I see it. Jameis Winston has established himself as a classical gunslinger. He's the fun zone at quarterback. And I do understand players can evolve and they broaden their horizons and all that. Typically, the radical transformation is limited. And I've always believed that you can't all of a sudden become a caretaker quarterback because you're occasionally going to have amnesia and brain farts. Next!
Urban Meyer said there's zero chance he'd ever return to college. Ben, do you believe him?
No, his lips were moving, Ryan, right? We've heard this rhetoric before. Urban's MO is to take a year off because of some phantom health issue and then go on to the next job. He did that when he left Florida to go to Ohio State. Now he left Ohio State, took a couple years off. Now he's in the NFL. I think he'll do great in the NFL, but I also think he's not there for the long haul. Next!
During a recent press conference, Steve Nash poked fun at the Nets being dubbed the villains of the NBA. Ben, is that a fair title for Brooklyn?
Yeah, they should embrace it. Be the bad guy, right? Sports are more fun with bad guys. They just are. It's the WWE found this out years ago. You need a protagonist and an antagonist, and the Nets are unlikable. They are. Now the Lakers are also there's a lot of unlikable teams in the NBA. There's a lot of ready-made teams that are to be hated, but the Nets are right at the top with Kyrie, very hateable. How'd we do, Ryan?
I want the rest of the week off, Ben. You fail. I want to go home.
You're a failure, you scumbag. You're not invited back for 4 months.
Fox Sports Radio has the best sports talk lineup in the nation. Catch all of our shows at foxsportsradio.com. And within the iHeartRadio app, search FSR to listen live.
Damn right. All right. This is exciting. I was not planning on this. It was not something we were expecting, but we have Blair and Marcel together, and so it is fight night, or in this case, fight morning on the radio. We are in for an old-fashioned Donnybrook in one corner, hailing from the mean streets of Brooklyn, New York, a caller of the millennium. You love him on Food Picks. He calls a bunch of radio stations around the country. He loves his sports talk radio. A man that made oodles and noodles the go-to meal on the Ben Maller Show. Marcel in Brooklyn in one corner.
Good morning, everyone.
No, calm down. I'm just introducing you, Marcel. Oh, calm down. In the other corner, coming into the ring like a bruiser. He looks like a lightweight, but he punches like a heavyweight. A man that has turned sports talk radio on its head over the years, calling in. He was on the West Coast. He didn't get a lot of attention. He went to Portland, Maine, and became a talk radio calling star. Not only on the morning jab and the afternoon jab there in Maine, but calls stations all over the place, ours included. Blair in Maine, a man who I've actually met in the other corner. All right, gentlemen, here we go. Real quick, we have 3 rounds of argument and debate, the verbal octagon of Sports Talk Radio. The opening round is 10 seconds for each of you. That sounds like no time at all, so you got to get right to your point. Second round is 20 seconds. The third and final round, the steel cage match, each of you will be on the air at the same time for 30 seconds.
Wow.
All right, you've heard my pre-fight instructions here in the sports radio dressing room. Remember to protect yourself at all times, and above all, this is important because you guys don't listen, obey my commands at all times. Touch them up. Good luck, and we are going to start with Marcel in Brooklyn. We're going to put 10 seconds on the clock. Now, barring a knockout, we will go to the judges' scorecards that determine the winner of the verbal octagon. And here we go. There will be a staff vote, and you, the Maller Militia, will be able to vote on social media. We'll put a poll up on Twitter to decide who the winner is. But Marcel in Brooklyn stepping into the octagon. Let's put 10 seconds on the clock. The opening round, you're on your way, and go.
My food pick from last night, it will be chicken patties. Also, the player of the morning, it will be James Harden of the Brooklyn Nets. Some breaking news on all things of some genres and everything kind in the love of God and props. And Blair, I swear, if you keep interrupting
that's 10 seconds. All right, stop. You're going over. Wow, how about that? Marcel, interesting strategy.
Yeah.
I did not see that one coming.
There, yeah.
Yeah, he totally forgot about the octagon, just did his bits. Shocking. All right, let's see what Blair has. Blair coming in. This is the opening round. 10 seconds on the clock there. And Blair in Maine, and you're on your way. Go.
I never heard such a fake fraud, and I never heard that you won twice in a row because every scorecard there, everybody that voted you in said that wasn't even real because it wasn't real. It was
all right.
What?
Boy, this is going.
Oh boy! Wow,
this is going terribly, Eddie.
Yeah,
such high expectations.
I would say after that first round,
I gotta go to Marcel.
A lot of posturing, not a lot of punches thrown. Matter of fact, I don't know if there was a punch thrown.
Yeah.
They're just peacocking at each other.
These guys
are feeling each other
dance.
out. Let's see some punches thrown, damn it.
These are some pity-patty punches. I mean, come on, guys. This is the octagon, for God's sakes. All right, we'll put 20 seconds on the clock. This round, we will allow Blair to go first. Not that that's a good idea. All right, Blair. Again, the octagon, the whole concept, you guys have a beef with each other, and you're going to air out your dirty laundry on the radio. 20 seconds on the clock. 20 seconds on the clock. Blair in Maine is next. You're on your way, and go.
Never heard such a retard in my life.
Oh, boy.
I never heard it.
His first punch is below the belt. His first punch was right in Marcel's manhood.
All right. Hold on.
God.
All right, let me try that again. Blair, you can't say that word, Blair. You got to change that, okay?
Hey, here we go.
All right, here we go. I'll try one more try
He was given a warning. We've warned him. No more below the belt.
All right.
We have to take a point away if you do that again.
It's a word that used to be able to be said on the radio but can't be said anymore. All right, here we go. 20 seconds again. Blair in Maine, round 2. Here we go.
Can you step right up in my face so I could take one shot and put you down? Because you can't even stand up in my face and say a word in my face because you won't stand up. Because I'll take one shot and take you down, baby, because it won't even matter, because I will punch you down and I'll make some blood, baby.
All right. Well, that was actually about 20 seconds.
Punch you down and make some blood.
Yeah. Boy. Interesting. All right. Well, I'm excited to see what Marcel has here because certainly a lack of intensity here to begin by Marcel.
I'm thinking he might go with his bid here. I don't know.
All right. Let's go to round 2. You're listening to the Verbal Octagon, our live coverage here. Marcel in Brooklyn versus Blair in Maine. These guys have a beef with each other, and we're in round 2. We'll put 20 seconds on the clock for Marcel in Brooklyn, who has a beef with Blair in Maine. You're on your way, Marcel. Go.
Blair, keep interrupting my early morning calls Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you do, I'm going to punch you right in the eye and skull right into your fist and to your stomach, all over the place. You keep interrupting me, some guys are going to block you, like the Matumbo.
Time's up. Well, that was a surprise, Eddie. He went with the Matumbo. That's a bludgeoning punch right there. Man, how about that? Now it's a rhubarb. Now we're into the hoedown stage right here. Man, this is great. We started out like a cat fight, but now it's like a street fight. All right. This is exciting. Final round. Boy, I think it's pretty even right now. All right, let's go to the final round here. It's Blair in Maine and Marcel. Now, we're going to put both these guys on the air. You guys got to keep it clean. Don't use any profanity. We're going to have to dump it. Nobody's going to hear it, all right? Keep your mouth clean, you two knuckleheads. All right, here we go. 30 seconds on the clock. The final round, the Battle Royale, the Verbal Octagon. Marcel and Blair on the air at the same time. 30 seconds. Here we go.
Starting now, and Blair, believe it or not, buddy, we ain't friends. We ain't
woman. Oh, my God. A
we
blonde.
ain't friends.
Oh, a brunette. Oh,
Shut
yeah,
up.
baby.
Shut up.
Shut
up right now, Blair. Keep interrupting my calls in the early morning hours. Otherwise, Ben is going to block you like Matumbo. Chemo Brit. Just shut up already. Oh, for the love of Christ.
Have you been in a porn shop? No, you have not been in a porn shop.
Too late, Blair. Too late.
That's it. Where's the bell? Where's the bell? Well, boy, both punchers punch drunk here. So the highlights of that, Blair saying, threatening, or Marcel threatening Blair, saying that he's going to get blocked. You had Matumbo in there as well, another Matumbo reference. And then Blair coming back at the very end there with a body punch. A haymaker that Blair saying that Marcel had never been in to a porn shop. I don't know how that relates to this.
I guess only tough guys go to the porn shop.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah. All right. We're going to go to the judges' scorecard. Marcel and Blair, hold on. We'll have the post-fight in-ring interview. We'll go to the CompuBox stats as well. We're very excited about this here. Quite the hullabaloo. We're blowing off Password, the word game of the stars. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. I'll throw it in somewhere. But we will have the post-fight coverage, and I will be putting a vote up on the Twitter page, and you can vote for this epic matchup here. I mean, this is like Soda Popinski, King Hippo, somebody like that, and Mike Tyson Punch-Out. This is big, and we will have the judges' scorecards. Who will be declared the winner of the Octagon? We'll get to that, and we will do it next.
Sure, but I could take Marcel down. He's not real easy to take down. He's very easy.
Be sure to catch live editions of The Ben Maller Show weekdays at 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio and the iHeartRadio app.
Well, we are all recovering from the emotional peak that we experienced here listening to this Verbal Octagon, the spur-of-the-moment Verbal Octagon. Maller Militia members, Marcel in Brooklyn, Blair in Maine, duking it out. 3 rounds. And we will go to the judges' scorecard right now. This is the post-game coverage exclusive on Fox Sports Radio, this Verbal Octagon. And you can vote, by the way. We're going to give out the judges' scorecards here, but you can vote yourself, and you can do that via Twitter. In fact, I just published it right now. You can vote for Marcel in a KO, Blair in a KO, or a draw. Those are the 3 options. A lot of reaction from the Maller Militia People either loved it or hated it. Donkey Sausage compared it to an Ali Frazier fight, kind of. So let's go to the judges' scorecard. Now, we grade these fights. If you're not familiar with how boxing match scoring goes, it's a 10-point system, and each round is graded. Then you have the cumulative score at the end. Most rounds will end 10-9. Let's start out. You want me to go first, Eddie, or you want to go first?
It's the Ben Maller Show. You're going to have to make the decision on that.
All right, I'll go first real quick. So I scored round 1 10-8 in favor of Blair. Now, it wasn't a lot of action, but in terms of at least kind of attempting what we were looking for, he tried. Marcel proceeded to give food picks. He, by the way, had chicken patty and promoted himself. So I gave that round to Blair. Round 2, I gave it to Marcel, 10-8. So 10-8 round 2, mainly because we had to dump Blair. Plus, Marcel also made the Mutombo line, and that was pretty funny. There was a God reference as well. And then in round 3 of the Octagon, I scored that round dead even. So I have it as a tie. I thought Marcel got some shots in there. He repeated some stuff that he'd said in round 2. And Blair in Maine, he got the porn line in there. If I was going to give it an edge, I would give a slight edge to Blair, but I had squared up. I had an even fight. Eddie, what do you say on your judges' scorecard there?
Well, Ben had it a draw, which is interesting. Yeah. For round 1, they didn't throw any punches, so I gave that round a draw. I'm not sure how you saw that for Blair, but that's your scorecard. Round 2 was clearly round for Marcel with the great Mutombo line. That was the best scoring blow of the match. Now, Blair did have the hardest punch, but it was below the belt. That does not score you any points. So that was 10-9.
Nobody heard that.
That second round was 10-9 in favor of Marcel. And in round number 3, Marcel decided to repeat the Mutombo line, so I didn't really give him any points for that. And Marcel went to that bizarre porn shop strategy. I had to give him the round 10-9, so I also have it a draw.
All right, so we have a draw here, which means probably a rematch. What about Roberto? How did you see the fight, Roberto?
Yeah, the first round there, I went with I was like Eddie. I saw it as a draw. I don't know what they were doing there. They were all over the place there. Marcel with his food picks. I don't know. Was trying to create a diversion of some sort there. Round 2, I had to give it a Marcel. Mutombo, great. And also because Blair had to dump Blair. So every time I have to dump you in the octagon, I'm not going to give you the round. And the third round, it's a draw. See, it's a draw.
All right, so we have a draw.
The third round, was Blair with the porn.
Okay, so he has it a draw as well.
Yeah,
All right, so we have a draw. Keep trying. Ryan's in for Coop tonight. So Ryan Bershinger, how did you see the fight, Ryan?
Well, you know what? Since I am, in fact, Coop's surrogate, I will give out Coop's scorecard.
Oh, good. All right. Very good. Coop's listening. He's producing from home. He came back from Miami, so he's in quarantine. But how did Coop see the fight?
Round 1, he gave 10-9 Blair.
All right.
Round 2, 10-9 Marcel. Round 3, 10-9 Blair. Marcel docked for using Mutombo jab again. So Coop gives the win to Blair.
Interesting. So Koopaloo, but maybe it sounds different when you're listening on the radio to those with the headphones on. But he said he gives it to Blair. Very exciting. Let's check in with both boxers here in the locker room. Find out how the boxers are doing. Let's start out with Marcel in Brooklyn. Marcel, how do you feel here, Marcel, after the Octagon?
It was great there, Ben. I defeated Blair, and I had to say, for the people who love me very much,
Yeah,
Blair is a liar and a cheater.
Oh, we should have saved that for the ring.
Yeah,
so Marcel is like a lot of boxers afterwards. He's proclaiming victory regardless of what the judges say.
Yeah, he doesn't care about the judges' scorecards, Eddie. He's got his own opinions on
Good
this.
Move.
I like trust me, Ben, what Blair kept interrupting my early morning calls from start to finish, you guys put an explosion Blair right away.
Okay. All right.
Explosion Blair right away.
Don't know what that means, but okay.
All right. Thank you, Marcel. Let's go back to Blair. Blair, how did you feel you did there, Blair? You got Coop's vote. Coop voted for you.
Yeah, I like Coop's vote. That was good. I like his vote. And Marcel, you're full of baloney, and you just are a fake liar, and you're a fake cheater. And
okay, all right. The octagon is over. Please, you should have used that material in round one.
I know.
You should have used that.
Yeah,
multiple balonies. Yeah.
All right, but
so does this come down to does Coop? Is he giving it to him, or is it the listeners are voting? And how does?
Well, the listeners are going to vote, Eddie,
all
and
right.
you can vote. We all, me, you, and Roberto saw this as a draw. Coop gave it to Blair in Maine, and so it will come down to the vote of the people. And it's on Twitter right now. You can vote. It's up for like 24 hours, I think. So it's
may need a rematch though to figure this out. Might need a rematch.
Yeah. It's a little disturbing, Eddie, that the post-fight interview in the locker room was a little more competitive than the actual.
It was. Yeah. That's true. No, it's true.
We've been doing these octagons sporadically for many, many years, and we've had some great upsets. Remember, Tammy in Montana beat Jeannie in Medford, the greatest upset of all time in the octagon. We had Pete in Pittsburgh versus the world. 1 year, so we've had some crazy things. This, I'm guessing, will not be that memorable, Eddie. But people wanted it. This is what the people wanted. We gave the people what they wanted in the Maller Militia. Yeah, and it's really like any sporting event that you really anticipate and look forward to. You're often left disappointed.
Yeah, it's
right?
kind of like the Pacquiao Mayweather fight.
Yeah, exactly. And most Super Bowls also, people get all jonesed up for the Super Bowl, and usually the Super Bowl is not as good as people anticipate it being. But who is going to be declared the winner of the people, Blair or Marcel? Stay tuned.
Got a murder, got to go.
I don't have to go anywhere.
Be sure to catch live editions of the Ben Maller Show weekdays at 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
My dad used to say that.
Sure, yeah. It's from Geico.
Yeah, whenever I would ask my dad for life advice, he'd sit me down and say, son, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. And look at me now, a well-adjusted adult with a drawer full of plastic bags I'll never use.
Okay, I'm confused. Was your dad a licensed Geico agent?
Nah, he was just a real good dad.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
It's Willie D. Thanks, Mob. Here to share some new info about our new podcast, Ghetto Boys Reloaded. Each and every week, we bring to you episodes featuring some of the most iconic figures in hip-hop, politics, entertainment, and more. You don't want to miss it. Each and every Monday, listen to the Ghetto Boys Reloaded podcast on the Black Effect Podcast Network, the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you listen to podcasts.